Folks, hello and welcome to another episode. Farmer James, Vermont Mountainside Beekeeping. And I'm catching up on cleaning up the bee yard, and you can see the leftovers. The leftovers these are my winter survivors right there, those three. And then here, yep, Carson's complete, as well as Hive Alive. Yep, so I'm going to do a little bit of both mix. I'm going to try to see what's going on in these colonies here. These are also survivor colonies. I'm not sure how large they are, but what I'm going to do is place them into nuke boxes so that I can evaluate the queens a lot easier than in these double boxes that are here. So thank you folks for following me. This is starting over episode number 2. Yep, here I am. I'm veiled up because, man, those new packages of Saskatraz are flying all over the place, which is really nice. They're showing me what's going on. I do have some in the front row that came 2 weeks ago, and they were the ones that survived the post office, whatever that chaos was. And I got the other ones, which didn't, they look terrible. As if you saw my other episode, if not, I'll have a link to that at the end of this one. But today you're lucky because you're going to see bees. You're going to see bees. You're not just going to see me talk about bees. And these are my survivor stock here. Like I said, these 4 here are what survived Vermont winter. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to evaluate them in right away just to see what's going on. You may see where I've written dates on, describing, they were good. They were good. They showed a lot of different brood and below, so forth and so on. But this is what I mean. You saw my face describing, but these are the dates where I did my mite check. Also brood markings, let me know what was going on. And the last time I did inspect was on the 18th of October. So yeah, folks, trying to, bouncing around as I get used to this tripod. I'm just a bee steward. I'm not a videographer, but I'm trying. So lucky day today, you're going to see what's going on in these hives. So let's take a look. You get to see my bees and what's going on from the winter. All right, dead outs or not, I get to see the size of what's going on in each of these colonies. And also gives me an evaluation of what to do next. But these are my survivor stock I'll be going through right here. So let's get ready to take a look. Beautiful trees, beautiful day, but we want to look at some bees today. So let's try to do that. Let's try to angle this camera so that we can get a little better look at the hive and evaluate what's going on. And that's what I'm trying to do, is give you folks a little visible look. But yeah, I'm setting it up. Hey, here we go. We're looking better. That's a good thing, right? So here we go. Got my smoker, got my hive tool, and again, these are some Vermont stock. So I'm going to open this, see what's going on. Oh, does not look too good, folks. Looks like I lost one here. Yeah, this does not look good. These bees, let me shine it down more. Yeah, these bees were doing pretty good the other day, but as you see, they're not doing good at all. I'm not sure what happened, but that's what happens. That was 2 weeks ago. They looked well. They looked like they had bees, but right now they don't look like there are any bees here. I get this double deep off, and let's see what's going on. Bees you see flying around are basically that is what we call a dead out. So yeah, you don't see anything on those frames at all. There are no bees at all. I do see some brown streaks on those frames, and there's some dead bees. And you see I did try to use a strip, but to no avail. Bees you see coming in and out of here are basically bees from those over there, the Saskatraz. They're a great forager, so a dead out, a dud, and not a survivor. You know, Saskatraz are letting me know. All right, well, let's move on to this hive, number 2. Let's see what's going on. Hey, that's what I mean, folks. You could try, and you won't lose anything. Again, insulated, October, evaluated, but you know that hive that died was a 2-year plus, so you know I got what I did out of her. So let's look at this other hive and see what's going on. All right, see my smoker going on, but you don't see me. So let's take a look. And I tell you, spring is a rough time of year, as a lot of beekeepers know. You don't have a lot of luck, but then some of you do have great luck. And all of you out there that have great luck, thumbs up. Oh, let's see what we got here. We have activity, which is nice to see. So we do have some bees. Yeah, well, the fondant's in the way, so I really don't know, but it looks like 1, 2, 3, maybe 3 frames of bees. And they look like they've got some pollen that they are bringing in. So not just this pollen powder that I sprinkled over the top. So let's bust it open and see what's going on. Because as you know, I'm just going to give a little smoke just to let them know I'm coming up in there. And we'll see what's happening. Get this smoker out of the way. So what I'm going to do is take off this deep, because this is a dead out. I'll use this dead out as a place to set the colony on. Get this box out of the way. I'll set this right here. So this will be a great platform for me to, and I'll leave that shim on, because that shim is right around here. That feeding ship is showing me they sealed it really, really well. So let's take a peek and see. Box is heavy, so they don't need food. Oh, and nothing below. And if you didn't see, folks, there was a mouse that scurried about into the brush. And if you get what I get up here in the mountains, you get mice. So you can see down in the bottom, there's nothing. All the bees are at the top. So I'm going to do what they call a spring rotation before we get some bad weather. So just take a little moment and tune in with me while I'll do that real quick. Get some stuff out of the way. And we don't have a lot of dead bees on here. Not a lot of dead bees. So I'll clean this off. I'll clean off that bottom screen board real quick. Do a quick scrape. This box I just took off. Oh, kind of heavy. But I'm going to move this box out of the way. This is just there. What was on the bottom, and all the bees moved up. So this is where they are. And they're underneath this fondant. So they're enjoying that. And as you can see, there are bees on that frame as well. So they're eating their honey stores as well. So this box is kind of heavy. So what I'm going to do, folks, is move it from there to here. And before I do that, I'm going to tilt it so that we can see how many bees there actually are. And maybe what I should do also is see if I can find a queen. So let's try to do that together. So now I'm going to take off this food shim so that I can see the bees. Give a little tap. Oh yeah, we got a lot of bees over here underneath the patty, and they are not happy. So I'm going to give them a little more smoke, because if you don't hear them, I hear them. And they're just saying, oh, what are you doing? So just a little smoke. just so I can see what's going on in this hive. So I'm just going to try to move this fondant out of the way. And basically I see at least 3 frames of breeze, maybe 4. So what I'm going to try to do is move bees into another box. Actually, not really. I'm not going to move them to a 5 frame. I'm going to keep them in this deep because they seem to be spread out on all of these frames, but I think the core is right here. So let me take out this frame right here and let's see what's going on. All right. Yeah, well, here we go. Yep. I know, I'm going to have to speed that up. And you folks are welcome again. Farmer James, Mountainside Beekeeping, Vermont Mountainside Beekeeping. I'm evaluating my hives, seeing what's going on so I could determine whether or not they're going to go in nuke boxes or they're going and growing. So yeah, and I do see mice jumping around back and forth. But anyway, let's get to work. If you heard me kicking around, that's because I saw a friendly neighborhood mouse. And mice love the dead outs, folks. So up here, you got to clean those dead outs out because I tell you, if you don't, those mice will get up in there. This looks like a pretty good sized comb. Let's carefully take it out. It's propolized. And all right, ladies, try to be gentle because this thing feels kind of heavy. And it does have something. Yeah, so they have stores, folks. As you can see, this is all crystallized honey that they've opened up, and they're working it. And there's enough honey, so they're good on that. So I'm not going to feed them fondant. I will dump on that complete. As you can see, this is really nice honey. It's not totally crystallized. They sealed it really well. So moving on, let's evaluate and see what's going on. Hopefully, if they're building up brood. Another beautiful frame of honey right there, you could see. So what I might do is use some of this honey for other boxes because there's a lot of stored honey. And I tell you what, I changed my mind. I think I'm going to put them in 5 frame. Why? Because I think that might work because of the amount of bees that I actually do see. So here we go. Yep. Boy, that mouse is wanting a place to live. I'm not going to let her do that. So here we go. We're going to keep frames of honey. And I'm going to switch. All right, let's get this together. I'm going to put this one that has a lot of honey in it, and it's crystallized. These frames that are just solid. Woohoo! Man, these frames right here are going to go towards feeding another part of the apiary. And I don't really need to worry about feed. As you see, folks, a lot of leftovers, and these are Vermont mutt bees. And they build up well, and they like their stores. I do see here are a few dead bees. You look in here. Yep, there are a few dead bees. And you can see because their bodies are down in there. They didn't make it. Poor ladies, but I tell you, these bees are looking pretty good overall. Let's get deeper in the box. And try to be careful not to disturb Her Majesty or them too much. See what we have. Another frame of comb. I'll brush these girls off later. I want to disturb them. We're really trying to find the lady. Let's do a little bit more smoke. As I can see, the guard bees are coming up to investigate this noise. So sending those guard bees out of the way. Just a little puff and back to work. And I'm taking my time moving out this bonnet because these girls have did what they did. I do see some brood. So we do have something happening. Alright, so what do we have? Oh, look at that. Starting to brood, as you can see. And there she is, right there. A nice queen. She's starting to do her thing. She's a Vermont survivor stock. She could be cutic bred. And she's walking around. Very nice to see. So I'm kind of glad to see that. She's doing a really good job letting me know that things are going all right. So let me put her back in the box. So I'll put her over here. Oh, let me switch it around, folks, because I took her out that side, so I'm putting her back that side. And I'm going to move them more in the middle. So this is going to go over here. And yeah, they are letting me know that I agitated them, which is fine. Hives are fine. No, it's not fine. But look at what we got here. Oh yeah, another nice pattern. So I don't see any issues with viruses. I don't see that they are showing anything like K-wing, deformed wing. Their wings look good. She's laying, folks, and larva here. So we got a larva, we got sealed brood that has hatched. So the bees are pretty calm overall. And look, both sides. So spring buildup is happening. We have bees both sides. The bees are pretty calm. So that's a great sign. I don't see any odd things going on. So let's get these bees back in here. I know y'all are tired hearing me talk about how beautiful you are. But they're good bees. They're good mutt bees. I'm trying to give them a better start. Because this is spring. The weather will change so quickly next week, folks. It's going to change. So I'm going to probably take out the fondant because they're working pretty well with what they have. Let's look. Oh, another frame of brood. Let's do this. Oh yeah, another pattern of brood. She's laying well. Look at that. Bees hatch. These are old brood. They've hatched. We have pollen here. They haven't started bringing in nectar yet. But yeah, these are old brood. Look like she's been laying. So yeah, folks, really nice to see. Nice strong pattern of bees. Good. Let's get some honey in here for you ladies. Let's close her up. Now these are tricky boxes. Yep, there we go. You don't want to squeeze her. So, yeah, I'm squeezing them down into a migratory nuke to try to keep them going, or they can handle. So I'm scraping off some nice propolis, also the young bees. Give them a little shake. Just gently brush them off. They're not too happy. I've done that, but they are a lot better off. And yeah, we have a nice laying queen. We have at least these 3 frames have half a section of brood, and there's food. So that's really good to see. I'm very happy. So there you have it, folks. you get to see bees. And in the next video, I'll show you how I inspect my package bees. But right now, I'm glad you folks tuned in. Hey, like, subscribe, leave your comments. Let me know what's going on. Let me know if you like seeing the bees these bees have got through winter. You see that one queen? They're Vermont mutt bees. These are my mutt bees here. I have a couple more I'm going to go through. I did lose one out of this back row. And over there, folks, over here, these are some other stock that survived. So overall, these are the carnies actually that survived the winter, believe it or not. So 3 hardy girls. We're going to see how they build up or if they're going to shrink down. I do have 2 other hives I'm going to inspect. So yeah, folks, these are my 2 other hives. I will inspect and do the same thing. I'll do what I have done, and that is basically shrink them down into a cavity that they can regulate, because this time of year the winters are still, no, spring is here, but winter weather always returns before like May or even mid-May. Last year it got crazy. Bees are buzzing, folks. That's very good to hear. I love it. It's a nice 65-degree day, very sunny, but it's going to change for the worse. Temperatures are going to drop sharply in the 50s and high 30s. So yes, welcome again, Farmer James, Vermont Mountainside Beekeeping. Like, subscribe, leave your comments. Let me know how you guys do when you come out of the spring and the winter where you are. I try to shrink the cavities. I try to move these double deeps around, get one out of here, because the bees have barely have moved up into this box. That down below, I think, is becoming a mouse trap. Yeah, no, mouse trap. Basically, these field bees love hanging out in these bottoms because the bees are all at the top. But as you see, folks, this is what I like to see. All right, these bees are covering a nice 3 frames. They're keeping that queen nice and healthy, keeping her nice and strong. I appreciate you folks taking time to listen in. Like, subscribe, leave your comments. Farmer James, be well.